Okay, so we're going to populate Elko with this stack estimate. Um, First, we go to reports right up here. I've made this before. Right here, there's a material and labor estimate right here. The However many different estimates there are for a community, it's rare to have multiple estimates. But I mean, I can show you one now that's got 7 different estimates in that same community. We just use the same drawings. It's a great way for like deferred division doesn't always get drawings, right? Because their projects can be sometimes they're smaller, or sometimes it can be okay. Hey, can you guys go paint the whole building? Well, they wouldn't necessarily generate pay an architect or a designer to produce a bunch of drawings for that. They just want you to go do it, right? If we have drawings from that community for a job in the past, then you can go in here and pull up those same drawings. The building hasn't grown or shrunk or anything, right? So those drawings might be for a different project, but you can use them to get your takeoff and stuff, right? So that might be an example of when the estimate reports here, you've got um, an estimate from the project that you're working on because you used old prints or something, right? That's just one. But 90% of the time, you're going to have just one here, right? So we're going to click on that one. This is the estimate that you can export as an Excel right here, right? So the Excel's over here. So I'm recording this, so you can watch this anytime you want. Export that as an Excel. The columns is the columns are interesting. If you look at the Elko estimate, the columns are pretty simple, right? Quantity, the unit of measurement, and the cost per unit of measurement gives you that total. And then a cost type, which is just materials, labor, subcontract equipment, other. And then the accounting code. And then this is what we call this is gross margin. And this is the gross profit on that line, right? I'm sorry, this one here is, and then this is the total price, which is basically the gross profit and the cost, the budget added together, right? Okay, so these are the columns that are in stack. Um, so that's the data that you'll need out of stack. Now you're bringing in, you're going to create an Excel version spreadsheet of this estimate before you start putting things into Elko. So you can control that here with columns. You're going to want your accounting code. There is a how-to on which columns to bring in. Um, it is in Drive, and I believe it's called. There you go. How to estimate, export, import, estimate, import, export into Elko. So there's a list of the columns, and here they are. Item name, adjusted quantity, unit cost. So you'll adjust those here. Item name. There's a accounting code, adjusted quantity. You don't need extended cost. I'm not sure if that one's in there. Bring this over here. Let's see, accounting code, adjusted quantity, cost type, item name. You do not need purchase unit. You do not need selling price with tax. You do not need takeoff quantity. That will definitely confuse you. You do not need tax. You do not need total markup. You do need unit cost. That is important. And waste quantity, you do not need that. One of the columns that I do add is where the takeoff was. Let's see where it was gotten, which is the plan name. Yeah, there it is, plan name. So what that does, it just tells you which page of the drawings that takeoff was done. So it's kind of helps you find what you need to find, and that's it. So then we'll export it in Excel. We'll go to Drive and find this project's folder in Drive. And this is Harbors Edge Lobby. We'll just search. Okay, so all these are docs. There's no folder icon here. See? So, go to the 2022 Drive. So we couldn't find it. So we have to go find it, physically. Go into our company folder. It could be in deferred. Do we know which division is taking this one? Okay, so here is the projects folder. We're going to right click and file upload, bring the estimate into the folder. First thing is right click, open with Google Sheets. And right now the file is an Excel file, and we need to change it to a Google Sheet spreadsheet. So this is how it comes in. If you look right here, it's got that .xlsx. That means that it's an Excel type folder. You really want to save that as save as Google Sheets, right? So when you do that, it's going to see how it created a whole new tab. So if we go back to our folder, see now it's got this little icon as an X, and this little icon is kind of a cross. This is Google Sheets spreadsheet, and this is an Excel spreadsheet. You want to right click and delete the Excel and only have the Google spreadsheet, okay? Then when you get into it, click up here. You're going to rename it. And then I usually differentiate the header row a little bit. I always use this color here. Change the lettering to white. Bold it, make it a little bigger. I center them in both height and left to right. Okay. So now you've got it's really not, it's just quantity. What you can also do is just QTY. Unit cost, this is going to be a dollar figure. The selling price would be so to check it, equal the quantity times the price per unit. It's Selling price got the markup at it, right? Yeah. That's why I didn't know that we must have slid by us. I didn't think we brought in the selling price. It's really not that important at this level. Tell you what, I'm gonna bring a little separation there. Okay, so then I go over, and if this is the last column with information on it, I'll highlight a few rows, hit Control Shift, and then over to the right, click that a few times. It's going to highlight all the rows to the right, and I'm going to delete those columns. I keep saying rows, I'm sorry, columns. And then I'll go do the same thing on the rows. It just kind of helps clean it up a little. And just Control Shift, down, 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 down. It'll highlight them all for you. Delete those. Now it's just a little prettier. Unit cost. A little text wrap here. There you go. Get that a little smaller. Okay. So these are the accounting codes. Those aren't, important yet for what we're about to do. So move those over. This type, that is important. So click on, again, the first few rows, Control Shift down. You want to highlight the whole thing because we're gonna apply a filter. Click that filter right there, and what that allows you to do is, we want to sort this, right? We want to get all of our material grouped together and all our labor grouped together, and so if we go sort A to Z, that pretty much does the same thing, right? Scroll down. What stack calls non-measured is anything that didn't have a takeoff, right? Nothing to actually measure on the prints for this. That's what it calls non-measured. So I'm changing the non-measured to general conditions because that's what these items actually are. Okay, rental equipment, and yeah, I can tell that he's not done with this. Well, unless he's going to do he's probably going to do a cost here per week. All this would typically be done for you. You know what I mean? We're bringing it a little ahead of time. So this would be supervision, lodging, and travel. So I'm going to move those general conditions up top just to get them a little bit of separation there. Another thing I do is I'm going to insert a row in between, general conditions, labor items, and then we start material right here. So I'm going to put a row in between there, just kind of separate them a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to stop here and stop the video, and this will conclude video 1 of the series, and we'll start back with video 2.